The bureaucracy is in place. The industries have been shut down. The domestication has taken place. So it's kind of like we now know we're in this hell, but how do we get out of it? And look, I'm not for the drug war because it's another evil, but I'm totally against the drug culture that you expose in the film. And people are like, well, wait a minute. You're against the drug culture, but you're also against the drug war. Well, the drug war, the way it runs, actually just expands over all the profits, so it creates a drug culture. But absolutely, the drug culture and the marijuana culture that I see out there of people that smoke this weaponized weed, they're like zombies. And I'm a libertarian. If they want to, be vegetables, that's their issue. Some adults and people, I guess, can use it responsibly, has some medical uses. But the whole weed crowd doesn't understand. Just because I'm for decriminalization doesn't mean I'm endorsing it, because I go into these weed havens, and it is like zombies. I mean, I've known women that were incredibly dynamic, beautiful, talented. Couple years into marijuana, they look like living dead zombies. Yeah, so I've got my issues with it.
Yeah, well, certainly the progressives will use anything, any tool, anything that comes up to exert more control.
Well, look at George Soros. He backs the total weed culture because he wants dumb zombies.
Right. Now, have you ever been to your high school reunion, let's say when you were 28 years old or 38, you go back 10 years later, 20 years later, everybody that was smoking weed in high school is pretty much still smoking weed and working in a fast food joint. It definitely causes problems in development, in ambition. There are many issues with it. And the more the progressives can promote anything that keeps people from focusing on their radical agenda, the more they'll get behind it.
They want folks stunned and stumbling around.
Exactly. Now, I think they've gotten away with a lot of stuff the past, 6, 7 years. They've got the multiculturalism thing. They're trying to throw amnesty down our throats. They want transgender, soldiers and female firefighters, which is fine, but not if you're if you.
What's wrong with commandos and tutus? I think we should have.
If you need to be carried off of a roof, you're pretty muscular guy. If you need these things, but I think they may have met their match on Ebola and enterovirus, because these things that they're ramming down our throat, bringing these kids in from South America that are obviously, there's some connection to this tropical disease. More people have died from enterovirus than Ebola. And
it comes out of South America, and so we can thank our loving Obozo.
Exactly. Just when school started, all of a sudden, these kids are coming down with this enterovirus. So I think Americans are not going to rebel from all these other things, but I think when you threaten their children and the safety of their children and their daily health, you can't even get on a plane without looking over your shoulder. I think this progressive nonsense is finally going to meet a backlash, and hopefully we'll find out in a few weeks if the progressives suffer a big blow.
Well, that's true. I mean, they say there's like hundreds of kids that have died, kids on breathing machines, tens of thousands sick from this jungle virus from South America. And now they say the flood of illegals is even more. And now the jails are releasing the illegals everywhere. They now busted at the seams. It's really true. Obama is trying to destroy the country, Cloward and Piven. They really are trying to scuttle it.
Progressivism, this entire ideology, is a war against every individual. It's a war against women. It's a war against your mind. It's a war against America, because America was based on the Declaration of Independence, the Bill of Rights, and we have a great American identity which emanated from this, which was individual markets, free speech, limited government. All of these things they want to destroy because they look at the world differently from normal people. We look at the rest of the world and we say, America is the best place to live. We have freedom. We have individual rights. We have our own world that we can create. Whatever we want to be, we can do it in America. So we love America. Progressives look at America and compare it to a socialist utopia where everything is perfect. And they conclude...
They compare it to Fantasyland.
To Fantasyland. So they say we have to destroy America. We have to tear it down and destroy it and undermine it and wipe it out so we can start to rebuild this perfect society, heaven on earth. You don't have to look far back in history to see that every time some charlatan like Obama, like the Wizard of Oz...
Well, that's what the Zeitgeist movement is. We're all going to live in giant plastic dome cities and have a robot computer tell us what to do. That sounds like hell.
Well, it is hell. It's called a socialist hell. And you just look back in history, every time some charlatan said, I've got the perfect formula for social change, you end up in prison. Prison camp is the end of the socialist experiment.
That's at the end of the rainbows of FEMA camp. Stay there. Joel Gilbert, his new film exclusively at Infowars.com. We're very honored. Stay with us.
It's already too late. Criminals have kicked in your door and are now in your home. Before this happens, homeowners have a choice. 1, do nothing and hope you aren't one of the 1.4 million families attacked each year. Or 2, refuse to be a victim. And for as low as $59, reinforce your doors with Door Devils. Door Devils simply attach to existing door frames and have proven to stop the biggest bad guys from kicking in doors. Read our police testimonials of real-life events at DoorDevil.com. Alarms don't stop kick-ins. We do. DoorDevil.com.
Silver has always been nature's very own antibiotic, and only one system allows you to generate an endless supply of natural silver solutions. Silverlungs.com. You'll find no wild claims or pseudoscience, just a lifetime of nano-sized pure silver solutions. The Silver Lungs generator allows you to make your own, so stop paying for silver solutions. The unique lung delivery system targets respiratory infections where other silver solutions simply cannot reach. See the Silver Lungs generator and lung delivery system at silverlungs.com. That's silverlungs.com.
The experts are clear. Sunlight, purified water, healthy non-GMO food, and having a good attitude is essential to a healthy immune system. But I go further with Super Nascent Iodine X2 from InfoWarsLife.com. 50% stronger than our original and revolutionary Nascent Iodine formula, coming from a deep earth crystal source that no other supplier has. Most other forms of iodine come from seaweed in areas plagued by Fukushima and other contaminants. Not our iodine. It comes from over 200 million-year-old crystal salt deposits and is tested and proven to be completely pure. Visit InfoWarsLife.com today. See the informational videos. Read the information they're compiled. And for a limited time, when you use promo code NOW at checkout, you get an additional 5% off the entire family of InfoWarsLife.com products. Secure your Survival Shield X2 today at InfoWarsLife.com or call toll-free 888-253-3139.
What's your constitutional IQ? More and more Americans today are becoming constitutionally illiterate. That's a big problem because it encourages government officials to expand their power and shrink yours. Be part of the solution. Raise your constitutional IQ with a fun and easy Constitution Quest game. Scholars, families, and students agree. The Constitution Quest game will spread constitutional literacy to your family and friends as you play. ConstitutionQuest.com. ConstitutionQuest.com.
Hi, this is Ted Anderson. Have you ever wondered why banks, stockbrokers, investment advisors won't talk about gold IRAs? They've been available since 1986, yet the financial industry won't recognize the value of gold for your retirement. Gold has outperformed paper investments, yet no word about IRAs. If you would like to have gold for your retirement, call 800-686-2237. Don't get left behind by rising inflation and low returns. Call 800-686-2237. Secure your future and call 1-800-686-2237.
What good is a Big Berkey water filter?
We get that question a lot here at BigBerkeyWaterFilters.com. And in a word, the answer is protection. Protection from water main breaks, E. coli contamination, environmental chemical spills, pesticide runoff, chlorine taste and smell, and all forms of fluoride. Plus, Big Berkey water filters are the original gravity water filter system and most trusted on the market for a reason. Tested by multiple independent NSF EPA certified labs, they are the gold standard in water purification. At only 1.7 cents a gallon, a single set of filters can last for 5 to 10 years. That means big savings. Big Berkey, the one that's powerful enough to purify stagnant pond water. Get a Big Berkey today at BigBerkeyWaterFilters.com. GCN listeners receive 5% off all ceramic filter systems. Visit our website or call 1-877-99-BERKEY. That's 877-99-BERKEY. Big Berkey Water Filters, for the love of clean water.
The Genesis Communications Radio Network proudly presents The Alex Jones Show, because there's a war on for your mind.
Joel Gilbert's going to be on sometime next week for a full hour with us, the maker of There's No Place Like Utopia, because I have the idea to actually get some of the most powerful clips of the film and have him walk us through it, kind of like when PBS is doing a film review and they talk about it. It's just so important to give this to everybody this Christmas or this holiday. It is so important that we promote the ideas of liberty and show what a disease progressivism is. It's just like if you feed squirrels at the park, they become obese, they don't know how to feed themselves anymore. or it's like domesticating whales or something. It's just it's all done by design, and we have the blueprints written by the socialists that this is their plan to wreck America and Europe, and they've done it. But what the film shows, and this is what I found, is the people living under it are rebelling against it. Joel Gilbert, again, we'll do this a full hour next week. There's no place like Utopia. You're not pre-ordering it. We're shipping now, and I didn't know we had the exclusive. I knew it was for a while, until December 2nd. So if you want to get it, InfoWarsStore.com or 888-253-3139. But talk more about the film, because that, to me, is the really good news, is the people are already rejecting it. Now they're walking out of his events. No one in the Democratic Party wants him around. He's basically canceling fundraisers because even the rich people don't want to hang out with him. Even though he's a puppet, he's the progressive god. We must pull down this idol, correct?
I think just like they did in the days of the late 50s, early 60s, the Cold War, the idea of Ronald Reagan and others was shed light, illuminate, show what they're really up to. When they're screaming peace, fairness, we want to help families, you have to shed the light and show that they're pathological liars. Their agenda is exactly the opposite. Whatever they say is the opposite. And when you look at these progressive cities, I visit Newark, Southside Chicago. I run into Michelle Obama's mother. It's a pretty interesting, encounter. I meet up with Jesse Jackson, a lot of just regular folks in Denver, and they realize they've been had. They realize they've been had. They know it. They just look around and they say things are getting worse and worse and not better. So the mask is off in the inner cities, but a lot of, I guess the problem is white liberals, among others.
That is the problem.
Believe in this idea of this fantasy world, and they don't understand that reality.
They're a cult of control freaks.
They use all kinds of innuendo. They become very good at it. These radicals, these are the 60s radicals who wanted to destroy America, the SDS, Weather Underground. These are the mentors. These are the people that slowly took over the Democrat Party for the last 20, 30 years, since the early 80s. These are the heroes and mentors of the people running the country today. So that today you see from this film that the Democrat Party is a radical socialist party. Most well-meaning Democrats are liberals. Even my poor aunt up in San Francisco, lifelong Democrat, it's hard for them to realize that their party has been taken over by Marxists out of Chicago who are trying to undermine the country.
And again, look at Frank Marshall Davis, his real dad. The evidence is overwhelming. A hardcore worldwide communist leader. And then they admit that his grandfather would leave him for months in the summers with a commie pornographer. I mean, these people are freaks.
Yeah, don't forget, it was white communists who decided they would use black people and use minorities to join their cause. They recruited Frank Marshall Davis. Obama's father was a journalist in Chicago, and they used him to promote communism and Marxism amongst African-American groups. The same thing was repeated with Obama. Bill Ayers, the weather-ground Marxist terrorist, Weather Underground, his father brought Obama from New York to Chicago to agitate and infiltrate the black church groups who rejected communism because it was atheist and they were religious people. So communism has a sordid history of using minorities and using people with dark complexions to infiltrate and use those people.
Sure, but our own government, the Ford Foundation and Carnegie Endowment, started it all with liberation theology, and the CIA is involved as well on one arm of it, doing this as well. It's incredible.
It's like the Hall of Shame of all the worst group of people and ideologies in America have come together under this progressive ideology, and they've exerted control over all these cities in America for years, and you can just see the destruction. If only any Republican would just tell the truth and say, look, progressivism is a path to hell, and here's the evidence. And then there's American values, prosperity, freedom, free markets. Let's go in this direction and get rid of this progressive agenda, which is leading us down this yellow brick road to nowhere.
Joel Gilbert next week, full hour, a special broadcast for radio and TV. We'll really review the film, but it's even more powerful than your last. Thank you so much, sir, for the exclusive on the film. There's no place like Utopia. InfoWarsStore.com. Support independent, patriot filmmaking.
We're on the march.